What's going on, guys? Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check updates, daily news, what's going on in the United States, what's going on in Washington, D.C., money, investing, and the latest information on what's going on in Afghanistan. Lots going on here in the United States and pretty much everything. We're also going to be talking about the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, which will be the largest stimulus package yet to date, almost twice the size of the $1.9 trillion third stimulus check package, as the U.S. House of Representatives is working on putting together the final stages and putting together the bill of that $3.5 trillion stimulus package. We're also going to be hearing from Bernie Sanders in this video, and he is considered the person in charge of the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. So we got a lot to cover. Let's jump right in. Thank you so much for hitting the like button for us. It really helps out our channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. The Pentagon has now confirmed today that at least two high-profile ISIS-K targets have been in the U.S.'s airstrike in retaliation from the suicide bombers that the ISIS-K suicide bombers have done against us. We have now retaliated back in an airstrike against them and have at least two high-profile targets and injured at least another one. As you can see here, the Pentagon said Saturday that the U.S. military struck the day before two high-profile ISIS targets and wounded a third in the first U.S. military action since Thursday's deadly suicide bombing at the Kabul airport. Major General Hank Taylor, Deputy Director of the Joint Staff for Regional Operations, described the two targets in a press briefing as planners and facilitators. Taylor added that the officials would not release additional information on the target's specific roles within their group or the level of involvement in the Thursday bombings. Officials have said that they could expect more attacks from both ISIS and that the U.S. could retaliate in more upcoming events as well. So stay tuned, because these next few days could have several more events from both sides, as the U.S. is expected to pull out of Afghanistan by August 31st. It could take a little bit longer, but they have said that there's less than 1,000 Americans left in Afghanistan. So I think they should be able to get everybody out by then. It remains to be seen, so we will have to see what happens. The U.S. stock market continues to hit all-time highs as they await the final passing of this next stimulus package and this next infrastructure package. Both the passing and the final passage of this next infrastructure package and stimulus package would pump billions and trillions of dollars into the economy, into jobs, into private sectors, into large businesses, and into people's hands, which would be very good for the economy. And that has sent the stock market surging in the last several weeks and several days. And really, that has been good for the economy, even though it hasn't passed quite yet. The Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says that he will keep interest rates low for the time being, which is good for car interest rates, credit card interest rates, as well as home interest rates for the short term, as well as they will continue the federal stimulus where they're buying bonds on a monthly basis. So the federal stimulus, which is somewhat different than the stimulus package, they will continue buying bonds on a monthly basis, which is pretty good for the economy as well. It's somewhat different than the stimulus package that you might think about, that we talk about a lot on the package or on this show. But they will continue both keeping interest rates low and the federal stimulus bond buying progress as well, which also helps out the stock market, which also helps out people's 401ks and their pension programs as well. However, the one thing that's threatening to throw a wrench in the entire economy, and, well, really a lot more of people's entire lives, is the Delta variant, which now accounts for over 98% of all cases. You can see here, Delta surge threatens working parents, labor markets, and, well, people's entire lives. According to Google, yesterday's cases, 192,720 people tested positive alone, just in one day, just yesterday. This does not even account for people that go and get the at-home test. You can go to Walmart, CVS, or A lot of just regular stores where you can just go and get an at-home test, just take it home, test, see if you're positive, and well, nobody even knows if you tested positive for that. So there's likely thousands of more, possibly even tens of thousands of people that we don't even know about. So the real likely amount of people testing positive every single day could be a lot higher. The 7-day average is 155,000, as you can see here. This curve is just exponentially getting higher. So really, we don't even know. The amount of people testing positive is very, very important because it's how many people can spread it to other people. And that's why it's getting exponentially higher. So on August 27th, 192,000 people tested positive. And for comparison, on August 27th of last year, we had only, in quotations, only 45,612 people test positive. So last year, when we thought we were in the thick of things, before really 70% of people had been with at least one shot, which is the case now, 45,000 people last year were catching it per day. 45,000 people. Now there's 192,000 people based on yesterday's data that are testing positive. So really, we're 4 times more people right now are testing positive, and this is because of the Delta variant. It's twice as contagious. Yeah. And when we look at deaths here, yesterday, 1,756 people died in just one day. And just for comparison, in Pearl Harbor, there was a total of 2,335 people that died in Pearl Harbor in just one day. And I think we all remember Pearl Harbor. So we're almost at that level every single day here with happening every single day, just for comparison purposes. In the United States alone, we have now lost 636,000 lives. 38 million people have tested positive. And in the world, we have now lost almost 4.5 million people with 216 million people testing positive. And again, that's only with the people that we know that have tested positive. That's not including the people that have tested positive that haven't reported it or anything along those lines. And this is how serious things are getting. Check this out. Tennessee's school district is going to shut down for an entire week amid surge in new cases. They're going to shut down the entire school district. Yeah. You can see here, a school district in Tennessee plans to shut down all schools for an entire week due to new cases. The Wilson County School District in Middle Tennessee announced on Friday they will close down for an entire week and plan to reopen on September 7th. The district said in the announcement that the closure was due to continuous drug surge, positive cases, and quarantine. Yeah. In addition to this, that at least, let me zoom this out here, at least 90,000 students have had to quarantine and been in contact with students that have had so far this school year, with really only 1 or maybe 2 weeks of school, depending on when students went back to school this year. So 90,000 school students have had to quarantine so far this year, with only 1 or 2 weeks of school. Yeah. What's going to happen for the entire school year? Are we going to have millions and millions of students that have to quarantine or catch it in total? CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky said Friday that schools that are already struggling with large-scale outbreaks generally aren't following federal mask and guidelines. And we have seen some governors that have literally banned schools from allowing masks. So, yeah. We also have another note here that says pediatric hospitalizations in the U.S. have reached their highest reported levels this week. Yeah, I actually have that right here. Hospital admissions for kids have reached their highest levels since the U.S. started tracking pediatric cases about a year ago. Doctors are warning that it could get worse as schools begin to reopen as the swift-moving Delta variant drives cases higher. While the Delta is more contagious than previous variant, causing a surge in pediatric hospitalizations, so far it doesn't appear to cause more severe in children. On the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, Senator Bernie Sanders, who is largely considered in charge of the next stimulus package is having a battle along with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senator, or I should say, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the Democrats and the leader of the House of Representatives. They're battling between the moderate Democrats and the more progressive Democrats, the more left leaning Democrats that want larger amounts of stimulus items in the next stimulus package and a larger price tag. They're battling the more Republican leaning Democrats, some might call them in the comments the dinos, Democrats in name onlys, the Kirsten Cinemas and the Joe Manchins. Dun, dun, dun. Here's what Senator Bernie Sanders posted on his Twitter page yesterday.
Something is quite wrong about the sense of priorities in this country.
While Democrats and Republicans and others may worry about the very wealthiest people in Congress, I'm not. Those are the people who've made out like bandits. The rich continue to get much richer. The poor continue to sleep out on the street.
In a time when millions of senior citizens and people with chronic problems cannot afford their prescription, the pharmaceutical industry is enjoying record-breaking profits.
There is no housing crisis. There is a crisis in the federal government's relation to low and moderate income people.
As every working parent knows, childcare is extremely expensive. The rich have got to start paying their fair share of taxes. You can't just tax the middle class and the working class.
The root cause of the housing crisis in this nation is a system of priorities which says that we will give tax breaks to wealthy people, we will encourage the building of expensive condominiums, but we will damn well not put money into low and moderate income housing.
We are seeing all over America expensive housing being built because there are certain people who have enough money to buy expensive housing, and yet we're not seeing affordable housing being built.
The United States today has by far the highest rate of childhood poverty in the industrialized world.
Many of our senior citizens are having a very difficult time today paying for their health care needs despite Medicare and despite Medicaid.
Quality childcare is so expensive that many low-income workers are spending a significant percentage of what they earn on childcare.
We're really creating two nations, one for the very rich and one for the very poor.
So Bernie Sanders is actually going across the country right now, trying to gain support for this next stimulus package right now. You can actually see, I think he's in Indiana right now. But the problem is that he's having to deal with the moderate senators and the moderate representatives in the House of Representatives that are threatening to vote against the package or lower the package and not vote for certain things that are going to be in the package. So this is where it's going to be interesting to see what they can get approved in this next stimulus package. By the way, the Education Department or the Biden administration did announce on Thursday, I just haven't had a chance to get to it because there's been so much crazy news going on here with the Supreme Court eviction moratorium, as well as the Afghanistan situation and the stimulus package, everything going on. The Education Department will cancel another round of student loan forgiveness. They will cancel student debt for 115,000 more borrowers, which will forgive $1.1 billion in student debt more. This will bring the total up to about $10 billion total now. We had about $8.8 billion. With the addition of $1.1 billion, brings it up to about $9.9 billion or about $10 billion in total. The debt forgiveness will go to those who attended ITT Technical Institute, a for-profit school that is now defunct. You can see here the U.S. Department of Education announced Thursday it will cancel $1.1 billion in student debt for 115,000 borrowers. The relief will go to those who attended the ITT Technical Institute, a for-profit school that is now defunct. The school is accused of misrepresenting itself and steering students into pricey private loans. These borrowers didn't finish their degrees and left the school after March 31st, 2008. Today's actions continue the department's efforts to improve and use its targeted loans relief authorities to deliver meaningful help to student borrowers, U.S. Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona said in a statement. Yeah, so you can see here that we've had several different rounds of student loan forgiveness for certain groups of people, students with disabilities, students that their school is them, schools that their school is closed on them. So we can see here, we can actually now move this up to about $10 billion here from $8.8 billion. So they've kind of done the student loan forgiveness in separate rounds here. So again, you can see I just moved it up here to about $10 billion here. So we are expecting more student loan forgiveness to continue in the future. They're kind of doing this in stages. So if you have student loans, we're also hoping or expecting, President Biden has said that in the future he wants to do at least $10,000 of student loan forgiveness for everybody with student loans. So we will have to see if that happens here in the future. I will expect that will probably be sometime after they pass this massive $3.5 trillion package. From what I understand, from everything I've read, that most experts say he can do that through executive order or just do it through the education department. Again, they just did this through the education department. They didn't need to do this through Congress. This $1.1 billion they just did on Thursday. So they didn't need to do this through Congress. You can see they've done $10 billion already so far. And I think that after they do all these student loan forgiveness, I think we're going to see other types of debt forgiveness here. They did mention that there might be some type of debt forgiveness in this next stimulus package, but I think that after we get through the mass amounts of student loan debt forgiveness, I think we're going to see a big push for other types of debt forgiveness, such as mortgage debt forgiveness or tax debt forgiveness. The government can easily do that through other stimulus packages coming up in the future. There will be more stimulus packages after this through the reconciliation process in the next upcoming 12 months. As the Democrats get more reconciliation cards on October 1st, which is about a month away. There will be more packages after this. The Democrats are going to continue to pass as many packages as they can with all the priorities on this list. Whatever's not in this next package will probably be passed in the next 2 or 3 packages after this. And as well as new things added into the packages as they kind of cross things off the list, they'll be adding new things in the upcoming packages as they get a full 2 years of control of the House and the Senate up until, and if they win the House and Senate again, then they'll get another 2 years. So they're going to pass as many packages and as many items as they can up until the next midterm, which is November of 2022. So they're going to pass as many things as they can up until the next House and Senate, which is about a year away, a little bit over a year away. So they're going to continue to pass packages and put things in there. And I think that after we see the student loan forgiveness, we could see other types of debt forgiveness, such as mortgage debt forgiveness, tax debt forgiveness, medical debt forgiveness, and even credit card debt forgiveness. They could do credit card debt forgiveness and other types of debt forgiveness through stimulus packages. It's really no different than, say, a stimulus check where they give money to people through stimulus packages. It's no different than internet assistance. It's no different than utility assistance. It's no different than rent assistance. They can do debt forgiveness as well, just like student loan forgiveness. Now, certain types of debt forgiveness, like student loan forgiveness, mortgage debt forgiveness, or tax debt forgiveness, is owned by the government. So the majority of loans, student loans, are owned by the government. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac on mortgages or tax debt forgiveness is owned by the government. Those type of things can actually be done easily by executive order or simply through the student loan department or through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. But other types of debt forgiveness, like medical debt forgiveness or even credit card debt forgiveness, can be done through stimulus packages. And I think that after we see the student loan debt forgiveness done, I think that we're going to see a large movement of what about for people that didn't get the student loan debt forgiveness. I think we're going to see a lot of congressmen saying we should do debt forgiveness for people that didn't get the student loan debt forgiveness. So we should see debt forgiveness for the other people that didn't qualify for student loan debt forgiveness. We're already seeing them talk about this. So I think that we will see that in the future here in some of the upcoming stimulus packages after this next big one. But all these items are the items on the list for the next stimulus package. So I will keep you up to date. Make sure to subscribe down below. You can also share this video down below with your friends and family. Anybody you think needs to know about this information and needs to know about the next stimulus package, the largest stimulus package yet to date. There's going to be all sorts of different stimulus programs in this next package. that are going to put money in different people's pockets, different groups of people, like utility assistance, rent assistance, mortgage assistance, child tax credits, adult tax credits, all sorts of different stimulus programs that are going to put money in people's pockets. Besides what we think about the normal stimulus check, there's going to be all sorts of different programs like that that are going to put money in people's pockets in this next stimulus package. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video. You in the next video.